Extraction shooters. Whether you prefer a hardcore PvP experience, a more casual PvE one, or something along the middle line, today I'm going to find the perfect one for you right now. Hopefully, anyway. If you're looking to try your first extraction shooter, or just seeking a more beginner-friendly one, then look no further than Arena Breakout Infinite. This game's movement and gunplay has the feeling of a traditional FPS. It's fast, simple, and easy for anyone to pick up and play. It offers an in-depth tutorial mission which shows you all the game's core mechanics. You'll be shown plenty of tooltips to learn everything you need to know in a short amount of time, so you won't need a degree in game knowledge in order to find success. While incredibly easy to learn, it's still got enough depth to separate the beginners from the experts. The high risk, high reward aspect is still present as you engage in heated fights against other players, and will lose everything if you die. You start with access to one map, and you'll unlock more in the future as you level up by completing various tasks. The first map seems to be mostly played by other beginner players, so theoretically you should all be on a similar skill level. This also helps you avoid all the massively geared veterans early on, or as some of us like to say, frickin' nerds. Most your familiar mechanics are present in this game, checking your bullet count, eating and drinking, loading bullets into mags, and using a range of medical supplies. If you find yourself low on gear, don't worry, you can purchase quick kits to save yourself looking around the market for all the individual items you need. Quick kits come in different types, ranging from a small set of cheap equipment to more geared out expensive ones. If you're not a fan of riding solo, you'll even have the option to match with other players and communicate in voice chat.
Good, bro, good.
Arena Breakout Infinite seems to be the easiest PvP extraction shooter that anyone can get into. Despite being a simpler game, it still provides those intense moments that really get the adrenaline pumping. It still retains an active player base and features a seasonal content model. Plus, it's completely free to play. But if you're not a big PvP person and still seeking that hardcore military experience, then let's talk about Incursion Red River. This game's full focus is on PvE, either solo or with a squad. It offers a highly detailed extraction shooter with very simplified core mechanics. You'll have access to a map at all times, with your quests and extraction zones marked. There's also no time limit in raid, so you can take as much time exploring and looting as you want. As per usual, if you die, you will lose all the equipment on you. However, there is no insurance option or safe box, so be prepared to lose everything upon death. The weapons feel realistic and offer detailed customization with a large market of parts. There's currently 2 maps as of making this video, and both require 2 very different approaches. Incursion seems to be receiving routinely new content and quality of life changes. Every time I load it up again, it's like an entirely new game. However, when it comes to progression, it doesn't run very deep. You'll have a list of missions and smaller tasks you can accept for random rewards. Each mission is supplied by a certain faction, and completing it rewards reputation for them. Leveling up faction tiers allows you to purchase more items from the market. The missions will repeat, and sooner or later you find yourself in a cycle. The AI are also really dumb. You may find yourself feeling a bit empty if you are seeking a challenge. I do think it's important to note that this game is in early access, so it's definitely going to have small issues like these. But this doesn't take away from the fact that Incursion Red River is probably the best PvE extraction shooter out there right now. If you're open to exploring a more interesting perspective and unique art style, then let me introduce you to the hidden gem that is Hull. Hull is a single-player indie extraction shooter with an incredibly simple concept. You live in a sewer and have a magic floating microwave which will drop you into levels. Confused yet? Me too! You'll be armed with only a pistol and you'll need to collect currency, survive and extract. You'll use this currency you escaped with to upgrade your base, gradually unlocking more game features over time. Early on, you'll gain access to tasks. Upon completion, each task gives you a helpful reward and progresses you onto the next one. You'll learn things such as permanent upgrades, keys to secret rooms, and new maps. Hull has a unique mechanic where you have a dedicated button to load your next bullet into the chamber. You'll need to press it whenever you reload an empty mag or if your weapon jams, which tends to happen a lot. It's only a tiny feature, but it's such a good one. One thing that may put you off Hull is that it basically has no punishment. Your weapon has unlimited ammo, your task progress is kept even if you fail to extract, and you'll still keep 10% of your collector's currency even if you die. Although that doesn't mean to say that this game doesn't offer a challenge. No matter how prepared you are, one stray bullet to the head will end your run. The longer you stay in your run, the more quantity of enemies will spawn, and some later enemies can be tricky to deal with. There's a subtle horror theme to this game, so if you have a weak heart, just be prepared for some interesting experiences. I adore this game. It really scratches an itch when I want to play an extraction shooter but only want to commit to a short play session. It has a charm to it that you won't find in any other extraction shooter, and the single player element is a nice change of pace. It's a shame the game isn't very long, but it's also very cheap, so you definitely get your money's worth. If you're looking for more of a PvP focused experience, then your solution may be Hunt Showdown. Hunt is a gritty western themed extraction shooter where you play as a bounty hunter. You'll dive into monster infested lands, either solo or with others. Your goal, find and eliminate a bounty. The bounty will be a big scary monster, and you'll need to look for clues in order to track its exact location on the map. You'll work your way through landmarks which will have clues scattered about. While searching, you will run into various types of monsters, and you're going to need to deal with them. But run into any other players and it will be a fight to the death. Once you track down the bounty, you'll need to kill the target and then start banishing it. Banishing alerts every player on the map that the bounty is dead and will give everyone its location. Once banishing is complete, you can take the bounty and extract to reap the rewards. However, if another player kills you, they can pick up your bounty and extract with it themselves, leaving you to do all that work for nothing. Sound plays a big role in Hunt Showdown. The smallest noise can give away your location to other players. The map will be scattered with a number of things that can create noise, from scaring off birds to stepping on twigs. Even your footsteps and gunshots will work against you. The game focuses a lot on semi-automatic weapons, which makes for a very unique PvP experience. Bullets will hit like a truck, and you'll only ever have a limited supply of them, so you need to make every shot count. In Hunt, you will have a selection of hunters to use, but if you die, then that hunter will be permanently dead. You will need to pay to hire new hunters and repurchase gear, so try not to mismanage your money. You'll need to plan your loadout accordingly to your playstyle. There's a number of tools, consumables, and traits at your disposal, with all of them being extremely helpful in certain situations. If your hunter survives enough games, it can reach max level where you can then retire them to earn a bunch of experience and currency. Playing Hunt can be brutal, but put in the time to learn from your mistakes, and it's one of the most satisfying PvP games you can play right now. Atmosphere in games can be a great selling point alone, and that's what the Forever Winter excels at. The Forever Winter is a third-person post-apocalyptic extraction shooter. It's a PvE focused game with the option of online co-op. This game makes one thing clear: you are not the main character. You play as a scavenger amongst a never-ending war, and you will quite literally scurry around like a rat while you ransack any loot and try to escape alive. You need to be smart with how you approach every situation, as one wrong move and you'll have an entire army mowing you down in seconds. There is an impressive amount of maps in this game, being able to play nearly all of them from the very beginning. This game features a handful of playable characters, all with their own unique stats and upgrades. There's even an interesting system to prestige characters for more upgrades, but it does require a lot of grinding. Quests will be available to accept and complete for rewards, but sadly they are always repeating and don't offer much progression in its current state. While out looting for scraps, you will also need to locate the most precious resource of them all: water. Water is used as a currency. You'll need to spend some to launch you into raids and for base upgrades. If you run out of water, your base becomes vulnerable to being raided. If you fail to defend from these raids, you can lose your entire inventory. You can also pet this dog, which is the best feature in the game. Being an early access game, it's definitely not without its flaws, but there's no denying that this might be one of the most visually stunning games I've played in years. I think given more time to cook, the Forever Winter could be a great game. It feels like it offers an experience no other extraction shooter games can right now, and I am excited to see its future. For a lot of you, I'm sure this game needs no introduction, but for those here who are completely new to the genre, let's talk about Escape from Tarkov. Tarkov sits on the throne way above every other extraction shooter. It refined the formula and has had several years of updates and quality of life changes. Basically, it's the best one by far, and I think most people can agree. From dozens of guns with deep customization options, incredibly good tasks and a lot of them, detailed survival mechanics, over 1,000 items you can loot, and a market that has a constant changing economy. But it's no secret Tarkov is absolutely ruthless. Be prepared to do your research, as this game will not hold your hand. There is no tutorial, no maps, no objective markers, no nothing. You create your character and the game's like, alright, have fun. With the amount of content this game offers, you will rarely find yourself bored, as no two raids will feel the same. If you prefer, it now has an option to play entirely PvE, but you do have to purchase it as a DLC. which kinda sucks. If you truly want the definitive extraction shooter experience, and you're ready to clock in the hours, then I wish you the best of luck, as this game will consume you. If you're not really an FPS person, then there are still plenty of options for you. Sievert is a popular single-player top-down extraction shooter. It has a cool pixel art style, but despite its look, it still offers a pretty solid experience. You'll have your base of operations, which you'll eventually upgrade as you progress the game. Inside your base, you will have your traditional stash of items you can organize at any time. There are various vendors to accept tasks and make crucial purchases from. With 6 entire maps and tasks for all of them, it's got enough content to keep you going. If you want to be on top form, then you will need to eat, drink, and sleep consistently. Sleeping also determines whether you'll load into raids during the day or at night, which is a nice touch. While out raiding, you'll need to look out for radiated areas, heavily armed bandits, and even dangerous monsters roaming about. I don't know if it's just me, but I find this game really hard. I'm ashamed to admit that I've easily died more times than I've successfully extracted. Not sure if it's me needing to get good or if this game has a surprisingly bigger skill ceiling than I expected. Sievert is a very cool contrast on the genre, and sometimes I think it's good to move out of your comfort zone and try something new. There was a point this year where a relatively unknown game suddenly had a playtest and it shattered expectations. And that game was Ark Raiders. Ark Raiders is a third-person PvPvE extraction shooter, and as of making this video, it's out very soon. A mechanized threat known as Ark have driven humanity underground. Raiders embark on the brave task of heading back to the surface to collect supplies for humanity's survival. During your raid, you will encounter the Ark threat. It's up to you to decide if you want to fight them head on or perhaps play it safe. But Ark aren't your only problem. Other raiders cannot be trusted. They can open fire on you and take your loot for themselves at any point. However, the game features a proximity voice chat system, which you can use to interact with other raiders to try and negotiate or even team up. You even have the option to revive enemy players when they are downed if you choose to. Once you completed your quests and gathered as much loot as you can, then you can return to the underground to craft, trade, and upgrade. I think Ark Raiders is easily the most anticipated extraction shooter to release. I have no doubt it's going to be great, and I will be there day one. If you happen to be chronically online just like myself, then I'm sure you've probably heard of Bungie's newest game, Marathon. Everyone and their nan has been talking about the behind-the-scenes disasters, so right now I'm just going to talk about the game itself. Marathon is a sci-fi extraction shooter with an extremely cool art direction. You play as a cybernetic mercenary known as a runner. You will have a selection of runners to choose from, all with their own unique look, personality, and abilities. Your goal is to embark on a mission to scavenge what's left of a lost colony on the planet Tau Ceti 4. Loot anything worthy you can find and push through everything in your way, whether that's enemy AI or rival runners. To extract, you will need to head to an exfil beacon and activate it. Once activated, it will shoot a beam in the sky to signal you're ready to leave. This will also alert every runner in the area that you are trying to leave, so be prepared to fight for your life. From what I've seen so far, the game's setting is great and the gameplay looks simple yet fun. Each runner seems to have deep stories to uncover, but I am concerned some of the abilities look kinda frustrating to play against. Marathon is most likely going through some extensive changes as of this video's release, so be aware that this might all completely change in the near future. Personally, I'm optimistic for Marathon, and I'm excited to see what they've cooked up very soon. Beautiful Light is an insanely detailed horror extraction shooter. It has yourself and a squad of players raiding a labyrinth to locate powerful artifacts. But you won't be alone. Not only do you have to worry about other players killing you, but additionally you also have to battle terrifying monsters. Oh, and did I mention some of the monsters are also controlled by enemy players? Yeah. Beautiful Light seems to be on track to be one of the most immersive games to date. From stunning lighting, amazing animations, thorough sound design, and this sweet wrist tablet thingy. I just think it's really cool. This game is what inspired me to seek out new extraction shooters to try, and eventually start this channel. So to say I'm excited is an understatement. Sadly, it's not coming out anytime soon, but I know for sure this one will be worth the wait. Lastly, I would like to display a few honourable mentions. If you think I missed any game worth mentioning, then share them in the comments. If you want to watch more extraction shooter content, then consider sticking around. We got plenty of new ones coming out, and I will be playing all of them.